You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
What's up? What's up, y'all? My bad. My technology messing up. My mic was off, but anyway, welcome to episode 184. Anyway, cover your mouths. The pandemic is spreading again. Everyone is catching a fever. We had Final Four fever just this past week. Hubert Davis has got jungle fever, and I mean bad. I mean worse than Wesley Snipes. Draymond Green has women's fever. Paul Pierce has a real fever. In 2 weeks, we'll all have draft fever. And after last night, I'm full of Braves and Hawks fever. It's time to take the sports prescription with sports doctors Red, Rev, and the coach. Episode 184. The session begins now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 184 of the Red and Rev Sports Show. We're coming to you live. Well, they're going to come to you live from the ATL, and I'm coming to you live from Pontiac, Michigan. We're coming to you with real sports talk because we are real sports fans who are real sports athletes who have what? Real sports knowledge. So come on, hang out with your boys, Red, Rev, and Coach for episode 184 of the Red and Rev Sports Show. And as is our sports custom, we're going to turn our numerology attention to Coach Patrick Thomas, who's going to give us something or someone associated with the numbers 1, 8, and 4. And hopefully the 1 or the 8 or the 4 will get some love. What you got, Coach?
Good morning, everybody. On this rainy, wet Saturday morning. The 184 goes to a man who is considered one of the greatest tight ends in pro football history. And if you ask him, the way his mouth goes on TV on Fox, he'll tell you he's the greatest tight end in NFL history. The man who wore number 84, yes, the mouth that roars every week, Shannon Sharp. He's our number one. He wore number 84. Like I said, if you ask him, he's number one. Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp getting some love. My dog on Undisputed with Skip Bayless. Definitely, he was a dog. And he was a 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2 with the Denver Broncos and 1 with the Baltimore Ravens. All right. Thank you for letting us have somebody that we didn't have to Google this week. We greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that. All right. How you gentlemen doing?
Good morning. It's wet.
Doing well. All right. I apologize, everybody. I'm not in my normal sports talk habitat, so the technology is not the best where I am right now, but we're going to make it work. Couldn't download our normal video, but we'll make it work. Nevertheless, let's see who's chimed in. And let me do this because I need to do this real quickly because I need to show a little bit more love because they named the group. We want to show the Rev Knight some love this morning. What's going on, Rev Knight Nation? We want to give it up to the Rev Knights chiming in on today. Don't think I'm not going to show y'all some love. Let's see who's in Rev Knight Nation this morning. Rest in peace, indeed, to DMX. Y'all about to make me lose my mind. Up in here. Shelby, glad to have you this morning. We look forward to the next time you join us. Good morning, Sister Sylvia Harris. Chris Traylor showing DMX some love. Rest in peace. Good morning, Vincent Woodruff and the members of the Rev Knight Nation. Good morning, man. Chris Traylor. No, we just had a few technical difficulties. We fought through them. Good morning, Black. Good morning, Joe Black. We're going to be talking to you soon about coming to Jacksonville. All concerns can cease. We're back. We're ready to rock and roll, Shelby. Red and his AOL. I can't blame it. I can't blame it on Red. It's in this Pontiac, Michigan, Red and Roll. Oh, Chris loved your intro, Red. Where is Thomas Holcomb today? It's coming up. Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Maurice Thrower. It's coming up. Thomas Holcomb is joining us from the Bullfrog Parachuting Tadpole Talks in Kermit, Texas.
I'm gonna find a book you getting these events out of. I promise.
Yeah. Shelby showing Coach some numerology love, and people love you giving love to Uncle Shay, Coach. Yeah, Shelby. You see, he's in Kermit, Texas. I can't even remember all that what he's actually watching. Yeah, we're here, baby. I see you, Rev Knight Nation. Indeed. Of course, your internet is horrible. You're in Big Ten country. All right. I received that. It could be from the bad water. Come on, Maurice. We're going to show Flint, Michigan some love. Come on, man. You come, I'm cooking. We're coming. We're coming. Trust that. We're coming, brother. So we're looking forward to that. So the Rev Knight Nation is in the house. And Red, Ev, and Coach are ready to rock and roll on this second Saturday of April. Let's get right into it, gentlemen, with our normal dope, nope, and cope segment of the show. And Coach, we know we started with Shelby last week. So since we're back to our 3-person rotation, we're going to start with you, sir. What are you doping on this week? What you got?
Yeah, I know it's going to be some theft going on because I'm going to steal somebody's dope moment, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Mr. Musgrove from the San Diego Padres, the old Padres. Musgrove, Wes Musgrove, tossed the first no-hitter in San Diego history. Didn't think he could pull it off. He had a couple of anxious moments, but he got it. So Wes Musgrove, you are my dope moment for the day, brother. Or the week. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty dope. That's pretty dope. He's been pitching. Pretty dope starting off this season, and no doubt about it. No hitter first in Padres hit. Wow, that's great. All right, what you got? What are you doping on, sir?
I'm doping on one Nick Castellanos for the Cincinnati Reds. My boy has really been starting off this season with a little passion to him. I love to see him playing. He's batting .429, 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, and an Major League Baseball leading 1.467 OPS. Nick Castellanos, and I have no problem with the way he got up in that pitcher's face when he slid home. That's right. You hit me, I slide the home. I'm gonna show you with some passion I score. Have no problem with it. I don't care if the bench is empty. I love baseball players like that. We need more Nick Castellanos in Major League Baseball. Dope, Nick. Very dope.
All right. All right. Red is doping on brother. And I'm going to dope on Baylor, finishing up the redemption tour. My phone is just going wild today. But nevertheless, yeah, I'm doping on Baylor, finishing up the redemption tour. Scott Drew done a phenomenal job. His program before he got there was the laughingstock of NCAA basketball, but Baylor comes through, wins the national championship, obliterates Gonzaga, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But big ups to the Baylor Bearcats. Bears, I'm sorry. Thinking about Cincinnati. Baylor Bears for winning the national championship, and Scott Drew completing the redemption tour.
Winning.
All right. Red, what are you noping on?
I'm noping on Gonzaga choking again. Once again, Mark Few had the best team in the country. And once again, you finished the tournament not the number 1 seed. I guess you were 30-0. You pulled a Patriots. You had one more game to have a perfect season, and you come up short again. So Mark Few, as far as getting all the way right there close to the finish line, but still couldn't cross over it. No, Mark Few. Oh no. Gonzaga. No.
Oh, come on!
All right, and I'm noping on the Texas Rangers opening day. It was sickening to have all those fans in the stands, as if there is no thing called the coronavirus that's still spreading. They were up close and personal, and it's clear that the Texas governor does not care about people's health. He's caring only about the mighty dollar. And unfortunately, this virus is going to be with us for quite some time, because people are just trivializing how detrimental this virus can truly be. So I'm noping on Texas Rangers basically having a packed house for opening day this year.
You have got to be kidding.
Coach, what are you noping on?
I'm noping on this Dave Roberts, not on him, but I understand there's a probe out for baseball, and one of his pitchers, Trevor Bauer, has been singled out about using foreign substances. Now, I just want to say this, Dave. If it's found out to be true, you're going to have a problem, because you're not going to see Trevor Bauer for a while. So I don't think that championship is starting to look real good that you won last year, and you got him, and they said that he's using supposed sticky substances. So I'm noping on the Dodgers and supposedly Dave Roberts.
All right, and it's on me, and fans, feel free to put your dope, nope, and cope moments, and we'll read them in just a moment. I was going to cope on Gonzaga, but Red noped on Gonzaga. So I'm going to cope on people being prisoners of the moment in basketball. The NBA's best 25 under 25 came out, and they had LaMelo Ball at number 3 over Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and Aaron Fox, and this was based on future potential. I appreciate what LaMelo has brought to the table, but I don't see him being better at this juncture or even in the future than Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, maybe De'Aaron Fox, but definitely not Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum. If he gets to either one of their levels, then he'll be a great one. But Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum are indeed the truth. So I'm coping on giving LaMelo Ball a little bit too much love, too much too soon. All right. And this is what I want to tell the person who wrote this.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
All right, there we go. And it's on you, Coach. What are you coping on, sir?
I'm coping on the rest of the NBA. And do it. Oh,
go with it, man.
On the rest of the NBA, you have to cope with that power trip of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, which continues to gain steam every week. Plus, with the addition of Aaron Gordon, Denver's going to be one of those teams that's going to quietly, or not so quietly, sneak up on everybody. So I know everybody's saying Lakers Nets, but you better watch out for Denver, NBA.
All right.
Yoo-hoo, baby!
Okay.
That's my favorite one.
Red, what are you coping on as we close this out, getting ready to put the fans on?
Okay. Well, let me bring us out with a good one. I'm coping with Michael Conforto. Well, not coping with Michael Conforto. I'm coping with baseball's reaction to Michael Conforto. Maybe not even that. Maybe just the stupid umpire's reaction. Look, once again, we had a silly call. Michael Conforto with his little bush league moment, extending his elbow out, walk off the game with a bases loaded walk. Okay, if that ain't bad enough, then you have the umpire after the game talking about, well, maybe I got the call wrong. Well, what is that going to do for the Mets now? I mean, the Marlins now. Once again, we got to cope with some crazy fool admitting the call that he got wrong after the fact, as if that's going to do anything to change anybody's feelings about having a game stole and ripped away from them. Dude, why not just keep it to yourself? Okay? I mean, at the end of the day, it ain't going to change no results. So why not keep it to yourself? Even if you got the call wrong, just say, woo, I got that call wrong. I may not need to admit that. And just let us all go on with our lives without having to sit back and wonder, what if? That's what I'm coping on. Why don't these folks just keep their mouth shut after they already realized what we already knew in the first place, that you messed up? And that ain't the word I want to use.
All right. All right. We have finished our dope, nope, and coping. Now it's trying to see what the Rev Knight Nation been doping and noping and coping on as we get ready to see what they are talking about. Let's get to these comments. And here we go. Vincent Woodruff is doping on Hubert Davis becoming first back head coach of UNC, but noping on Hubert's unnecessary reference to his lily white spouse.
We gonna get to that.
Thomas is doping on Simone Biles' debut, a new move for the Tokyo Olympics. Joe Black is doping on Mays High and Morehouse Legends' mother turns 73, showing Sister Sylvia Harris love. Happy birthday, Sister Sylvia Harris. Is Grant doping on Grant Hill being named USA basketball president. Yeah, that's pretty dope right there. Thomas Holcomb, doping on 500 all-female race team this year. That's pretty dope too. Lance C. Bill Brew, what's going on, brother? Is doping on the Dodgers rings, man. Those are serious rings. Yeah, those are serious rings. Booing because they're Braves fans over here. I told them the Braves were gonna lose, but hey, I had to be the realist up there, even though I'm a Braves fan. But nevertheless, since Sylvia has the return of AD to the Lakers next week, well, let's let him return first before we dope. Might have a bruised nail, as Coach would say. and may have to keep him out another
When
week.
LeBron coming
So
back?
the judges would try to find a way to disqualify because other girls won't be able to do it. Haterade to the max. And Chris Trey says, I agree, Red baseball needs more passion. All right. And Vincent Woodruff is doping on. I got to watch him pull that red because that's his second dope right there. Baylor brought that fire. Maurice Thrower, the NBA getting newer and better uniforms. I didn't even pay attention to that. All right.
Nice.
Shelby McDonald noping on Draymond Green. Female athletes need to stop whining about equal pay. I really wish I could say what I want to say to him in person. Sister, yes. Oh, she's showing some love to Joe Black. Thomas Holcomb, nope. The Masters tournament, you roll out Lee Elder to be an honorary starter. Nice, but we know why. Uh-oh. And Joe Black also doping on Mark Watson going on to Indiana. Bill Brew, Brother Lance is doping on Hubert Davis being proud of Alice. Okay. Shelby is coping on Red. Will have to cope with me being on the show next week. Yeah. She's coming back.
I welcome that. And then, for you were part of my dope, but I decided to go with another topic. I ain't want to pump your head up too much.
Texas Rangers had the super spread events of all super spread events. Ignorance is bliss, no doubt about it. Maurice Thrower is noping on Maverick Carter's idea to remake House Party. Oh, leave that alone.
Leave the classics alone, please.
Yeah, leave that alone, man. That's dope. Yeah, man. All right, Thomas Hope.
That's LeBron's stupid idea.
Playing poker while trying poker. Let's move on.
Keep going.
Oh my God. Man, Vincent Woodruff, rest in peace, Earl Simmons. Egg gonna give it to you. Arf. All right. And let's see. Yeah, he had to be trying to get fired, no doubt about it. HBCU grad and former Falcons, Philip Adams, killing 5 and then himself. Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible.
No, that was just too sad and depressing.
Yeah, Mars Thrower coping on all the phony rumors that we'll be hearing the next 2 weeks leading up to the NFL draft. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I had that as one of my copes, dog.
Thomas Holcomb coping 17 games and NFL records are not going to mean as much. There'll be a 7,000-yard passer soon. That's an interesting point. Chris Trail, Uncle P is the king of bump this job now. Yeah, that's true. Cole, watching my Lakers literally limping through the rest of the season. Brother Bill Brew, I'm sure my mother's coping with you right now. Coping Hubert Davis press conference. Shelby called it a train wreck. Dope. Paul Pierce, clown. Nope. Hubert Davis, shaking my head. Cope the Nets coaching staff trying to hold the team personalities together. Man, he's doping on Paul Pierce. The minister's doping on Paul Pierce. All right. One of the uncomfortable presses we see all the time.
Oh my God.
First, the coach I've always high on Denver. That's the team to watch. All right, they got their own conversation going on. And this is what Shelby wrote while Red was doing his cope moment. At some point, there has to be a mute button. She wanted good Red. Oh, my goodness. And there we go. I'm just going to post them. I missed the dope. I must mess the dope this up. My bad. Yeah, you did. But it's okay. We're glad that you're watching. Pope and Matt Ryan, the second quarterback in the NFC South. All right. Thank y'all for joining us for Dope, Nope, and Cope. And we're going to jump right on in as we continue this wonderful day of Red and Rev Sports Show. Commentary as we feature Coach. Feel free to post your comments throughout the show, and we'll be happy to post them or read them at some point. It's that time, gentlemen. Basketball time. Final Four recap. I won't brag that I had called it. I won't brag.
Yes, you
That
will.
I called the championship game, and I called the win of the championship game. For my colleagues, they had UCLA and Baylor in the championship. Shelby, who was joining us on last week, she had Gonzaga and Baylor. She had the championship right, but the winner of the championship game wrong. My brothers had the winner right, but the game wrong. And Rev called the game and the winner right. but I won't brag. But nevertheless, your thoughts about the Final Four. You guys went with UCLA over Gonzaga, and you almost were sports prophets over there because it took a game-winning shot by the freshman Jalen Suggs to move Gonzaga to UCLA. What were you all's initial thoughts when Suggs hit that shot last Saturday night?
Well, my initial thoughts are not, I can't say on LCC Airways. I'll just say I was extremely disappointed. And I was extremely pleased with Baylor sending that guy, Mr. Suggs, who made me extremely disappointed, sent him back to the locker room crying his little eyes out. Spent like 5 minutes crying on the court instead of letting Baylor celebrate the championship. Yeah, Mr. Suggs, you beat us on Saturday, but you couldn't hold the fort down on Monday. So congratulations, you hit one of the luckiest shots ever. But when it came down to it, when it was time to step up and be a man, the Baylor Bears showed up and the Gonzaga, I forgot what your nicknames are. Somebody help me out. The Gonzaga. Okay, I'll just say the Zags. The Zags couldn't step up to the plate. So, sorry, Mr. Suggs. You almost had it, but you didn't quite get it. And we'll see where you were, if it affects draft stock or not. But I, for one, was happy for the Baylor Bears. I mean, good comeback program because we all remember where they were years ago with all that turmoil and tragedy they had in their program. So we don't want to rehash that, but it's a good comeback story for this basketball program.
Coach, give us your commentary first about when the shot went through and then whatever other Final Four commentary you might have.
Well, you see the shot go through, and basically it's the definition of March Madness. Nobody thought that shot was going in. Everybody's saying, okay, we're going to overtime, and he hoisted the shot. Even though number, I think it was 14, kept backing up instead of going to him, which gave him a chance to get a good look and get the shot. But we won't hurt him so badly because he's gone now. The championship game was just Baylor. Now, memo to Mark Few. If you have a bunch of cows, you can't run with greyhounds. That's all I'm going to say for you, Mark Few. Because you try to play man against Baylor, who had out-athleted you from the start. Why? Instead of going to zone. Man, please, you can't out-athlete them guys. Those guys were greyhounds. And they just took you to the wheel. They made your guys look slower than they really are, very slow, and beating you left, right, sideways, and upside your head. So, hey, you just got out-athleted, Mark Few. Can you come back and get back again? So far, they're saying, yeah, y'all can come back again, but Baylor can come back too. So, good game for Baylor. Good win. Gonzaga, once again, you are that team that you wear those bridesmaids outfits very well.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the handwriting was on the wall when you looked at the game on Saturday for Gonzaga struggle trying to contain the two perimeter players for UCLA who had good games against them, the wing player and then the guard. So you already knew come championship time that they were going to struggle when you got three guards and even another wing player, the kid who shoots the ball. I don't want to call him the white kid, but I'm talking about from Baylor, who can also put the ball on the floor. You got four kids that can just put the ball on the floor, and I knew Gonzaga would be in trouble. And then when you look at the post, those guys have athletes. Maybe Gonzaga did spend a lot of energy trying to, well, not trying, but beating UCLA. But at the end of the day, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Baylor was the better team. And as I posted during the game, that what we saw was no fluke. If they played in college basketball like they do in pro basketball, 4 out of 7, Baylor wins in 5. 4 games to 1. I give Gonzaga just 1 game to avoid the sweep. But it's just, I mean, as Coach said, they just did not have the athletes to compete with Baylor. And it's unfortunate that Gonzaga goes undefeated the entire season and then gets blown out in the championship game. I mean, that has to be very disheartening for Gonzaga fans. But, it also can be a testament to the lack of competition that they play during the course of a year in conference. Now, I'm not going to poo-poo on their entire schedule because they do seek to compete against better teams in the Power 5 conferences. So I'm not going to say that they just had a cakewalk, but I think what hurts them is playing in the conference that they play in. They don't have to grind and play as hard as other teams in the Power 5 conferences who are playing against good talent that matches their team's talent night in and night out. So therefore, I think that affects Gonzaga once they start going in to tournament time, because they clearly have the best talent throughout their conference. It's not even close. Like, Jalen Suggs is probably the best player to ever come out of that conference, almost in years. I don't even know anybody else of Jalen Suggs' stature who came out of that conference. I mean, the kid is a top 5 recruit, and he picks Gonzaga. And Gonzaga was even shocked that he picked Gonzaga, but he did. So when you add all the veterans that Gonzaga had with Jalen Suggs, I mean, their talent, they're just too talented for their conference, but it catches up with them when it comes to tournament time, and they need to see more athletes. So, like, if they had played against top athletes who were also talented, then, like Coach said, they might have known to play zone at the beginning of the game before they got their doors blown off. But the whole thing I said early on is Mark Few waited too long to call a timeout. He should have called a timeout earlier in the game. Not wait till they're down 11-1. But as soon as he saw 5-0, 7-0, you got to call that timeout. But I think he underestimated Baylor, and he overthought he thought his team was better than what they really were against Baylor. And he said, "We've been here, done that before. We'll catch back up." And Baylor said, no, not today. So anyway, Baylor deserved the trophy. They were the better team, best team. And Baylor could have easily gone undefeated if they didn't have to take 3 weeks off due to COVID. So,
exactly.
They were just as good as Gonzaga, but we didn't see them in their element for 3 weeks. And when they got back off the COVID situation, they fell short a couple of times. But Baylor all year was right there with with Gonzaga. Anybody else got any further comments?
Yeah, I go in addition to what you say. It's tough because with the conference Gonzaga playing, we're not really playing that type of competition. And then by the time when you get to the tournament, now you want to, you gotta add a little something more to the fire. And you're not capable because you haven't really, been doing it all year long. Whereas other teams in the tournament, they probably have been, especially like an ACC team or a team that's in a better conference than Gonzaga, will probably been having more battles during the year. So I agree, Rev. They probably need to think about switching conferences or something so they can have more competition during the season. So when they get to the big time tournament, they'll be more, more prepared, because you just don't understand when you get in that tournament, it's everybody. It's just one fall. Everybody fighting for something. It's do or die. And when you playing do or die,
And I think Gonzaga, basketball-wise, would go to another conference, but because either they don't have a football team or their football team is not a powerhouse, this is why they probably can't change conferences, because typically conference changes are based upon football, unless you're in the Big East, where you see UConn, who did not have a powerhouse football team. They elected to go back to the Big East because they know they're more of a basketball school than they are a football school. But Gonzaga, definitely for basketball purposes, they would do better, especially since their team has gotten to a higher level. They would do much better if they went out a stronger conference. I think it would help them be better in the NCAA tournament. All right. And where's Kelly? I guess she didn't want to show up after Southern put that beat down on Jackson State.
Y'all calling Kelly out? That's,
Yeah,
that's two toilet bowl teams for Kelly.
Kelly didn't want Rev to go in on her with Southern putting the beat down. Went into Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, Michelle should be our guest for the day.
Just spanked them up. In Jackson. Man, nevertheless, we're going to move on. And Shelby brought up the fact that I did not choose the women's basketball game correctly. I was a shot away. Ari McDonald fell a little bit short. Any comments? I'll start with Coach. Any comments? Well, Gonzaga, Jerome, they play a pretty strong non-conference schedule. So I won't poo-poo on that. It's their conference schedule that hurts them during the course of the year. But, Coach, any thoughts about the Arizona-Stanford game where Stanford comes up and wins the national championship?
Well, first of all, Rev, if Miss McDonald heard you pronounce her name, she might want to go off on you. She said her name is Ari McDonald, not Ari.
Ari, tomato, same thing. Go aheh.
Tough when she told Stan Barrett that, and he was like, okay. Basically, you're looking at a case of David versus Goliath where David didn't have enough rocks in his pocket. And you're looking at those trees for Stanford going against little Ari McDonald, who tried her best, but she over-tried at some points in that game, which caused her to overplay and not be her best instead of getting her teammates. But be that as it may, Kiara Williams, Stanford, they came with a mission. And Vanderveer, I guarantee you, wait until the report. It'll be coming out soon. She will be retiring after next year. She's been there a long time at Stanford. And this was the icing on the cake. So you'll be hearing about her retirement coming up in the near future. And for Arizona, Coach Barnes, she was just named to the U.S. Olympic team as a coach. So that's another accomplishment for her to celebrate. But I know she's going to bring everybody back and wants that title very badly. So, and everybody has that option. And I think they still have it for college where you can come back another year because of COVID. So we'll see. But memo to Arizona, don't put UConn or Stanford on your, not UConn or South Carolina on your schedule. Because you got two angry teams ready to come back and reclaim what they thought was going to be one of theirs. So,
Ray, you got any comments?
Not too many, other than I'm glad the fact that the Arizona coach got her name out in the spotlight, and I'm wishing good things for her going forward. Like Coach said, the team seemed like Arizona was relying on that one star, where Stanford had a more complete team. And I think the Stanford coach probably should retire. Because I think they say there had been such a long time in between titles for her. And yeah, it's looking like it's probably close to retirement time for her. So yeah, it'd be good to see her go out on top than to try to, rebuild with another class, because there's so many good teams in women's college basketball. And with the time it took her to get in between titles, I don't think she had that much time again. So yeah, I would love to see her go out on top with this title right here.
All right. I'm just Shelby again, cover that red. But nevertheless, as Shelby mentioned, Haley Jones was the X factor. You take Haley Jones out the game, Arizona has a much better chance. But Haley Jones was actually the point guard for Stanford. That thing messed me up because of Arizona's defense, as Vincent Woodruff brought out earlier. Their guards on Stanford, they were pretty suspect. Hannah Wilson and Kiara Williams, when it comes to ball handling, they play good defense and then they shoot well, but they could not get the ball up the court. So Haley Jones had to become the point guard for the team. And then she also was the main post player for Stanford. I mean, Arizona just did not have anybody who could match her size as well as height and speed. And Haley Jones was definitely the X factor. It just floored me watching her become like the Scottie Pippen for Stanford, being their point forward. and she did an exceptional job. McDonald played as well as she could. I mean, she was dog tired because you got on Stanford side, as coach labeled them as Goliath, you got Kiana Williams, Anna Wilson, Haley Jones, then Lexi Hull started off playing well on the wing. And anytime McDonald went off the court, Arizona struggled to put points on the board and struggled to stay in the game. And I got to give Arizona and the coach big ups because they could have easily gotten blown out 3 or 4 times in that game, but they kept their cool, mounted a comeback, and made the game real tough. So McDonald is known she's going to the WNBA. So Arizona, I don't see them being competitive like they were this year anytime soon unless there's a big-time recruit coming their way. All right, let's see. Stanford was gifted a championship. South Carolina and Arizona game was in their hands. And they got the luck of the draw. Haley Jones is definitely true. 22 Cameron Brink. Miss Cheap Shot is going to get hers one day, but I digress. All right, since Vincent Woodruff is digressing, we're going to digress on the Final Four recap. And let's go to the story that people have already have alluded to. UNC hires Hubert Davis. Now, Coach is the UNC fan on this panel. He rides with the Tar Heels when it comes to college basketball. Now, I'm going to ask Coach 2 different questions. One, is he happy with the hiring of Hubert Davis? Then we'll start talking about Hubert Davis comments. But first, Coach, you go from Roy Williams, who won 3 national championships, to one of his associates. Hubert Davis, former NBA player, played quite a few years with the New York Knicks, had a decent career. Then he was a college basketball analyst for a few years before he would go sit on the bench as an assistant coach for your Tar Heels. Now, we know that nobody saw the retirement of Roy Williams coming, but he retires. Hubert Davis is the guy, becoming the first black coach in UNC men's basketball history. On that front, how do you feel about the hiring of Hubert Davis?
I think it's a great move. First of all, African-American coach getting that position. And secondly, he's been there. He played under a great coach in Dean Smith, and he studied under Roy Williams. So it's not like he doesn't have the knowledge. I hope he's able to he's kind of soft-spoken. I hope he's able to get out and get some recruits because they got a good recruiting class come in. So I think Davis would be an excellent coach to keep him in the NCAA tournament, and we'll see how far he goes. Hopefully he can win a championship, but we'll see. He's going to be an excellent coach.
All right. Now, matter of fact, I'll go to Red before we come back. Red, just on the hiring. How do you feel about UNC hiring Hubert Davis?
I think it was a good hire. I think it was a good hire.
Give us a little bit more commentary. Why you think it was a good hire?
Like I say, he's a former player. He's a guy. He seems to be the guy that everybody was campaigning for. If we only knew. But like I say, he was a good hire, former player. UNC was looking for a change, and a change in coach too. So it's nice that they not going with the old school type hiring and expanding their horizons. Not really, but former player. And he was the guy that I think everybody was campaigning for up until this week. But like I say, I think it was a nice hire. We'll see how it works out. But for right now, I can't think of any other guy that was campaigning that had probably been a better hire coming off of Roy Williams.
Yeah, I mean, they had Steve Robinson, who was also on the bench, but he already had a stint as a head coach, got fired by Florida State. That was Roy Williams' main guy. So I think in order to encourage the UNC base to try to keep most of the players that they already have in place, and then also to help with recruiting, it doesn't hurt to have Hubert Davis to stay on staff because he is a former NBA player. He knows the system, knows the players, and knows who they've been trying to recruit. Because we look at teams like Indiana, who fired their coach, Miller, and then they hired Mike Woodson, and half the team is in the transfer portal. So North Carolina. Yeah, yeah. The half the team is in the transfer portal, just like some other teams. But I guess they wanted to keep the continuity that they have, want to build on the young players that they have in UNC, and that's why Hubert Davis was a solid hire. Now, Coach, and Armani, the answer is yes, because Coach will have a problem if you use that C word. I know it firsthand. Nevertheless, what were your thoughts about Coach Hubert Davis lifting up that he has jungle fever, as Red alluded to in his monologue?
Well, you know, I almost want to take my glasses off, but I'm not going to take
them off, man. Get loose.
Because
tell us how you really feel.
You know, I will never, and I repeat, never call another black man what I saw on here. Never. That kind of ticks me off a little bit. Don't do that. Don't do that to a. I mean, you can laugh. It's funny, but don't use those kind of words when describing another African American. Please don't. You know, I had to stop and preface what I'm gonna say for that. You know, and I don't like that. But secondly, on the
what happened?
Well, it's about the C word, but go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Paul, he just asked if he could use it.
Oh, okay. I got you. My bad, Coach.
On a lighter note, you should have said, Mr. Davis, I'm proud to be the first African American coach here at North Carolina. I want to represent the university well, and I think that we can continue to build on and go on that. Nowhere in there should the fact that your wife is white have entered your mouth. Everybody knows she's white. That had nothing to do with the context of what you're talking about, my brother. We talking about you being the first African-American coach, not being the first person to be on these commercials where I praise my wife. Praise your wife. Love her to death. But the fact that she is of another race had nothing to do with that conversation, Mr. Davis. Now, the only way you can overcome this, my brother, is to go out and make North Carolina a serious power again. People forget about that then. Some people won't, but most people forget about it. You know, they forget about your little faux pas with the lips and everything. So, try to pull it back and concentrate on being a coach. You don't have to point out that you're an African-American coach. We see that, dog. So, Coach Hubert, don't get in front of the camera anymore until basketball season. Let's put it that way. Stay away from it.
All right, Red, jump in there. Your thoughts about Hubert Davis' comments, making sure that everybody knew that he was dipping in snow.
Yeah. Like Coach said, once you have a sin up there with you, I don't think we need a lesson on her race and ethnic background. But I guess Hubert Davis felt otherwise. And as far as Coach mentioned that he needs to overcome something, personally, I don't think he needs to overcome anything at all. I think he was doing exactly what he felt like he needed to continue to endure himself to his new employers. Oh boy, did you ever, man? I'm sure they love that little press conference right there, Mr. Davis. You might have bought yourself some extra years in North Carolina doing what you did. So whoever gave you some advice, hey, maybe you need to keep it, because boy, you sure made some people happy with that press conference right there. I don't know if you made everybody happy, but look, man, like Coach said, all you need to say was keep it simple, man. This is my wife. She's the love of my life. I'm very happy to have her by my side. I'm lucky she's in my life. Her race, her ethnic background, none of that never even need to come up, man. She's your wife. You married her. So I'm pretty sure that tells us all that you're very proud of her. You didn't need to disclose that and start showing her off like she the trophy queen of the South or something, man. So please, dude. You just look extra out, Hubert Davis. But like I say, dude, we all know you were kissing butt all up in there. And rubbing elbows up there with your new employer. So, like I say, I'm pretty sure your press conference didn't bother everybody, but I'm pretty sure I'm not surprised, and I completely understand why some folks were offended by it. But trust me, you guys, everybody was not bothered by his press conference. And when I mean everybody, I mean the people that are signing his checks and paying his salary. So trust me, I'm pretty sure they were quite pleased with Hubert Davis press conference. But as far like Coach said, as a black man in America, brother, you was a little extra out. Leave the Jungle Fever to Wesley Snipes and Spike Lee. Done.
Rev, you got to mute me.
Which comment before I take my take? What comment are you going on? Because we had some stellar comments during this section, no doubt about it. You talking about this one?
No, that's one of them.
Maybe Steve. And then Shelby had a good one. She's not a trophy wife.
You talking about
you can't tell Hubert Davis that. She a trophy to him? She a trophy? She a Oscar?
His wife was. All right, man. They had some good comments. But let me just say this. It's clear that he was trying to make a point, I guess, to appease maybe some members of the fan base in North Carolina, also to appease his own wife. And it just made me think about possibly what kind of conversations Hubert Davis is having amongst his white wife when it comes to race relations, for him to feel like he has to be intentional about letting everybody know that he had a white wife.
Sure we know
he's not the first black head coach to have a white wife. Charlie Strong has a white wife, and he never made mention of that in Texas. What's my man in South Carolina who just got the extension, the head basketball coach, Frank Martin. He's a white man and he has a black wife, but he's never made that to be put in on center stage. So it questions what his real motive was, but it also, he really hurt the North Carolina fandom, because I know one demographic of people, once they find out the news, that will not be rooting for North Carolina. And that's called black women. African-American women are anti Hubert Davis in North Carolina right now. I'm sure they want North Carolina to lose badly. I'm sure they would be happy if he got fired in the next 2 to 3 years. Oh, that's right. He is Cuban American. All right. Yeah, my bad, Vincent. He is married to a sister, but he never made that an issue. But I believe the black women definitely have put Hubert Davis on their list, and they are rooting heavily. They will be rooting heavily against North Carolina. Trust me.
I don't think guys care about guys like Hubert Davis. He don't care.
Oh boy!
If he did, he would have never pulled that off.
Now that's an interesting point that Armani makes, because most of the recruits that he will be recruiting, their mothers are black women.
Yep.
So did he hurt his recruiting by making that statement? Coach, what's your thoughts?
He may have, but you didn't help him by saying he dipped in snow.
I mean, he liked to swirl, like the swirl, dipping in snow. Hey, but yeah, I black mama will have something. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, Armani came on. You came strong with that one, and Shelby's validating that, and I believe there will be some backlash.
Yeah, there will. Mm-hmm.
There will be some backlash.
Shelby will validate anything regarding that topic, so that's not nothing new. But it might hurt him some, not completely though. He'll still be able to get some talented players at UNC. I mean, it's North Carolina basketball.
Rev, put Vincent off the show too.
What's it?
Vincent,
yeah, smoke. That they mess with in high school. It may not matter, bro. Boy.
He said that woman was a participation trophy wife.
Only black single unmarried women will be upset. Oh my goodness. Jerome trying to start a fire here.
Yeah, Mr. Minister, what's up with that? You trying to start something?
trust me, Jerome. I think you're a little bit off on that one. There are black women
I don't think sisters gonna. I mean, look, if they kid really want to play for North Carolina, they're not gonna get in the way. They gonna have some concerns now. They might want to have a conversation with the coach, but I don't think he's just gonna completely lose every single recruit that he go after all because of that particular reason. I would be shocked. I know
he won't lose every recruit, but if it comes down to difference between Duke and North Carolina, they're going to Duke because Coach K embraces the sisters.
Yeah, maybe. and let Coach K come out and say something dumb.
No, Coach K is look here, man. Coach K is strategic. Just like he was smart to have a video be put out about Black Lives Matter when all that stuff went down last year this time. See, Coach K is smart. He's real smart. So he would never say anything stupid like that. And I hope some of Hubert Davis, North Carolina brothers, you know, there's a whole host of North Carolina guys who went to the pros. I hope they pull them to the side and say, don't ever say anything like that again.
Hey,
all right.
Rev, we got Coach K on the phone.
Do we?
Coach K on the phone. Hello, Rev, Red, and Coach. Let me say this. The sisters are nice. I do like the sisters. And they send their young men to me to play basketball. And I will make sure that they stay with me and they will be treated properly. Hubert Davis, you know, he said he had a white wife. I never mentioned my wife. So I think I can take care of those guys that he lose. I mean, I will talk to those guys that don't want to go there. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach K, for your guest appearance on the Red and Rev Sports Show. Oh, man. So y'all, black women are not checking for Hubert Davis. That's what I'm learning today from the Red and Rev Sports Show. Real quickly, can I just take a quick slight break? Real quick before we talk one more topic before we do halftime. We're going to scrap Draymond Green. I think Shelby did enough for that topic for Dope Nope and Coke. Yeah. But I would be remiss.
Don't get her nothing to get started again.
I would be remiss if I didn't share this real quickly. Give me 5 seconds.
Hang on to your sports hats.
Since our friend has arrived.
Anything better than listening to Shelby.
What's up, Kelly? How you doing, Kelly?
Ooh, oh.
What's going on, Kelly? How you doing, Kelly?
Kelly?
She thought she was gonna just slip in and say, "Hey, y'all," without getting this heat. What's going on, Kelly? Kel?
Here we go.
You see, there she go with that mess. It wasn't messy when they were beating everybody.
Oh Lord.
I just had to put that in there. Just let Kelly know I was glad to see her watching, because I've been waiting on that one. I've been waiting on that one a long time right there.
I'm surprised Kelly didn't have a hair appointment this morning.
Oh, shot fired again. See these shots.
Oh man. And the walls at Jackson State are starting to come tumbling down. But nevertheless, I just put that in there. Let's go in before we go in for our halftime. One other hot topic. Paul Pierce's Instagram show. Paul Pierce's Instagram show. Oh, yeah, I'm throwing major shade today, Kelly. I was waiting for you to get on the show. But nevertheless, Paul Pierce's Instagram show. Red, I'm going to start with you. As some people call him Uncle P, Paul Pierce goes on Instagram, goes live, has strippers, smoking, drinking, the whole nine. And we see that ESPN reacted to his Instagram show by saying, "Deuces. May the Lord bless you real good in your future endeavors, Paul Pierce." So some people are suggesting, Red, that he was trying to get fired. And there's a rumor out there that he was trying to get fired so he can get on Barstool Sports. So what are your thoughts about that, Red?
My thoughts, I'm not sure about the Barstool Sports, but hey, I did hear that BET Uncut was making a comeback. Maybe Paul Pierce is auditioning for host of that show right there. Boy, he sure is prepared, isn't he? I mean, chip drill all the way, PP. Let's go. I have no idea. Like I say, Paul Pierce had to know ESPN and their high standards was not gonna stand for that, dude. You smoking weed on camera on Instagram. You got half naked women dancing in the background. I'm sure ESPN don't care about you smoking weed. I'm pretty sure they don't care about your wild parties. But for you to post it public and you're associated with them, come on, Paul Pierce. You had to know what was up, man. So obviously, I don't think you're a dumb brother. I think you intentionally wanted to get fired. So my whole thing, if you was tired of working at ESPN, could a simple letter of resignation. I mean, dude, and you just going on Instagram making a complete you know what of yourself, man. Like I say, dude, you're not the only rich man. You're not the only rich guy to throw wild parties. So I'm not impressed. You're not standing out. To me, you could really look like a complete fool because I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people employed by big time companies who have wild parties. And guess what? At the end of the weekend, they still employed. You claim you got another position. Well, we'll see. But seriously, dude, you look like a complete jack. You know what?
Coach, jump in there. Paul Pierce's Instagram show. Did you tune in?
No.
I got to watch you. Did you tune in, Coach?
No, sir. Did you not hear the train going? Choo choo. This was another train wreck of a person who didn't really deserve any publicity. I mean, you might as well have gotten fired. You were terrible as an analyst to me. You were terrible. I mean, barely watchable on the show. They put you on the jump. They need to jump on you after what you did. I mean, Paul Pierce, come on, man. I think it's more of a ego kind of thing. I don't get enough publicity, so now I'm gonna do this so I can get some publicity. Even though it's gonna cost me my job, I really don't care because I want everybody to see me act a plum fool, which is what you did. And then somebody, and I can't remember that name, had the nerve to say any other job you wouldn't get fired. I said, are you a fool? I said, if I'm a teacher, you let me post that video anywhere in any place in the world, and they wouldn't even call me. They just have my papers ready to sign online. They wouldn't waste any time firing me. You crazy? This is ridiculous. Paul Pierce, if you want to get fired, just like Red said, why you just go to him and say, look, I'm looking to move on. You know, let me go. And to be honest, Rev, that young lady that was laying on the floor, what that? I mean, Paul Pierce,
so you did watch the show. Okay, you did watch the show. Oh man, it's clear that Paul Pierce must have been inebriated or something. He wasn't thinking straight. Something just happened, man.
Let's not put it on the weed, Rev. I don't even think weed would make him do nothing that dumb.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. He seems to be a fairly intelligent guy. And for somebody to do something like that, there had to be a calculated decision. And maybe we'll see what that calculated decision was if we see that he gets signed with a sports organization like Barstools, where that's right up their alley. They love that kind of stuff. I don't think that's good for his brand, in my opinion, because, you know, that's just a whole nother audience over there. And I think, you know, when you get with ESPN or with Fox, you're with those networks that people really gravitate to who are serious about sports. So it's sad to see it. It'd be interesting to see what Paul Pierce's next move is, because I do believe that he enjoys the spotlight. We'll see where that light will take him at some point. Any closing comments about this topic before we go into halftime? So, Coach,
we'll see him again at his Hall of Fame induction if it happens. Other than that, Barstool, whatever. I ain't buying all this stuff, man. You, like you say, you had to say something because you came out looking like a complete fool, and then you looked even worse when you was on social media laughing after you got fired. I'm like, dude, who are you trying to impress? You're not impressing anyone. You're gonna really look like a complete fool in the next few years when you're not making money, and the guy you completely always talking about gonna be making billions and billions and billions of dollars, baby. He gonna be buying your butt because you're gonna be begging him for a job. I'm talking about LeBron, who he always talking about, and you wonder why they always put him on spotlight because he don't act like you, Paul. That's why.
All right. And Red picking up for one of his favorite players, LeBron James. And we're going to get ready. We're going to get ready to ride.
I'm just trying to make a point that Clay is always talking about LeBron always getting the spotlight. Why is LeBron there? Oh, because he acting one way and you acting like a complete. I don't want to say the word, but you acting one way and he acting another way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's halftime of the Red Rev Sports Show. We had some good sports talk. We talked a lot of basketball. On the other side of halftime, we're going to come talking the Hawks report, Braves report. We got Tiger Woods, Masterless talk, or Tigerless Masters talk. And then we got some NFL draft talk. So hang out with us for our second hour of the Red and Rev Sports Show. We'll be coming to you in just one moment. And we're back. Nice halftime. And we see that we got some additional comments that have come in. Let's see what people are talking about. Has Thomas changed his location?
Uh-oh.
We got to see if Thomas changed his location. I know he was in Kermit, Texas.
Kermit, Texas.
All right. All right. They're still talking about Uncle Pete. All right. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, Chris. Where is he coming? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Coming up for halftime, Leprechaun Slingshot. In Leprechaun. This guy here, boy. And we gotta. I'm gonna have to go back and list all the different places and events that Thomas has posted on here because this is classic, man. It is classic. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Most jobs have social media. I can't post any of the food I cook at still. I got you. All right, here we go, man. Red, make sure you ain't posting on behalf of the show. Make sure it's you posting. Let everybody know you posting, not the show. Red, engage with somebody. All right, let's go in. We're finished with halftime, and we're going to still talk a little basketball. No need to play the Curtis Blow. The Hawks report. We'll let Red do this because since he wanted to talk about the Hawks, they won their last game, lost the game before it. So what you got to say about the Hawks as you give us a Hawks report? It's on you, Red.
Oh, well, I failed to mention a few weeks ago that my boy Uncle Nate did win Coach of the Month. And after that, the Hawks were pretty much undefeated up until they lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. But let's be real. They had tied legs versus Memphis. They had won 3 or 4 in a row. You know what I'm saying? They were due for a letdown. So me personally, I was not mad about that Memphis game. Can't win them all. But when you win so often, don't have a couple of letdowns. So I'm quite all right with the Memphis loss. Saw my boys did last night. Came back, bounced back against my boys, the Bulls, Eric Ross's Chicago Bulls. Yeah, you thought they had us, didn't you? And I know Zach LaVine was going off. 38, 39 points at halftime. Had me at work with my head down like, Lord have mercy, how we going to stop this guy? But then Uncle Nate, halftime, went in his little laboratory and came out with a defensive plan. That clown didn't even score 12 points after halftime. So we pretty much put LaVine in check, and Trey went off for 40 points, 8-8, and the Hawks got back in the winning column versus the Bulls, got right back up the 4th spot in the East. That's right. Uncle Nate's Hawks are just keep rolling on, just keep chugging on. Still won 100% last night. Still missing Hunter, gonna be out still indefinitely. Still missing Reddish, he still is out indefinitely. Still missing Collins, he might be out another week. Hopefully we get him back soon. I think Snell went in the locker room early last night. Hopefully it wasn't nothing too serious. But Uncle Nate's Hawks are balling consistently, and I love it. I just love that we're gonna make a playoff run finally for the first time in years. I don't know what we're gonna do. That's the big thing. But I mentioned this week that the Hawks need to go ahead and lock Uncle Nate up to the contract extension. I think he has earned it. I think he deserves it. And these players, this Hawks team that we have right now, they enjoy playing for him and they enjoy playing for one another. I, for one, am excited and looking forward to see where this all goes.
Coach, what's your assessment about what Red just shared about the Hawks? We see that they are in 5th place, 1 game or tied, 1 game above the Hornets, but 1 game below the Hornets in the loss column, 1 game above them in the win column. They're sitting in 5th place right now, avoiding the play-in at the playoffs. We're starting today. They're 1 game ahead of the Celtics and 2 games ahead of the New York Knicks. What are your thoughts, Coach?
Well, they look like a different ball club. How the sustainability factor is a different thing. It's one thing to get to the playoffs, but as Janet Jackson says, what have you done for me lately? You can get there because they got almost 15 teams in the playoffs. So, you get there. Now the Hawks have to show that they can prove that they are just as good as anybody in the league. And this is not a very tough East. Everybody say it's Brooklyn and everybody else. Well, I don't say that, but everybody else say Brooklyn and everybody else. But I want to see the Hawks at least make it past a round or two. I want to see them sustain and hold on. And like I said, you got those injuries, but hopefully those injuries will be healed up by playoff time, and then we'll see what happens.
So right now, the way the stand is looking like, they will either be playing the Hornets or the Hawks or the Heat if they maintain the 4th slot. It doesn't look like they're going to get up to the 3rd slot. The best they can get up is to be the 4th seed. They're tied for the 4th and 5th seed right now. The Bucks are 4.5 games ahead of them. The Bucks are the 3rd seed. The 76ers are the 2nd seed. And the Nets are the 1st seed. So do you like their chances? I'll go back to you, Red. If they had a 1st-round matchup with either the Hornets or the Heat or even the Celtics, who would you want? Go ahead.
I would prefer the Celtics or the Hornets. I wouldn't prefer the Heat because the Heat I don't see it. I think the Heat be a little bit tougher opponent in the 1st round in the Hawks. I mean, they are the Eastern Conference. They're still the Eastern Conference champs. They'll have a little bit more to prove in the 1st round matchup versus the Hawks, whereas the Hornets will be in the same position as the Hawks, hadn't made it to the playoffs in a while. Still something to prove. And the Celtics, if the Hawks playing them, they'll be pretty much on the downslide of their team, and who knows, probably close to making a coaching change and move some pieces around. I think the Hawks could catch them at a vulnerable time. But the Heat, I just think they'll be just too formidable of a matchup at that point in the playoffs, especially first round. Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler, Bam Bam, those guys will be even if they're playing bad right now. When the playoffs start, they'll be motivated to repeat and show that the last year team was no fluke and definitely repeat as Eastern champs. And they can't do that by getting put out in the first round versus the Hawks. Whereas the Hornets or Celtics, to me, would be the better matchup for the Hawks to advance.
Yeah, I can agree with that. That they want to stay far away from the Heat. They want to stay far away from the Heat because Jimmy Butler is the difference maker, and then they just don't match up well with the Heat. The Heat, they have those snipers, plus they have veterans, plus, Bam Adebayo can bang with Capella. So they just don't match up well with the Heat. I can see them beating the Celtics in a 7-game series as well as the Hornets. Hornets don't have that much experience, so that helps the Hawks out as well. I don't know if they want to play the Knicks, though. The Knicks not too far behind. They're only 2 games behind the Hawks. The Knicks, they grind. They beat you up. And I don't know if the Hawks are about that grind life. Thibodeau is up there in New York, and they grind. And they have Randall. And then they have other guys that are just grinders. And in a 7-game series, that may be too much for the Hawks. I don't know. So I'd say they may want to stay away from the Knicks as well as the Heat. Coach, your thoughts before we close it out?
I think in the first round series, they had to play Charlotte. They would beat Charlotte. I don't think Charlotte got enough firepower. They playing well. I don't think they got enough firepower to beat the Hawks if the Hawks are fully healthy. I wouldn't be too sure about Boston because Brad Stevens is a good coach for a reason. And he knows how he can turn it on, look like when he needs to. And they have started on a little mini winning streak. So I don't know if you want to sell the Heat. I think they can stay with the Heat, me personally. I don't think, I think they can hang. If their shooting is on, and, the Hawks are starting to shoot well. And they're starting to pass the ball around, get everybody involved. So, the team I would want to play is like, I would say the Knicks, because the Knicks are dangerous. They got good size, and the Hawks, I don't know, the size-wise are good. And I think, like I said, I think they can beat Charlotte or maybe even the Heat. That's just me.
We're going to broach that topic one day. Jerome K said something that may be very controversial. The Celtics have too much talent to be in their current situation. Their coach needs to be fired. Wow.
What?
That's interesting.
Well, we've been saying we were going to talk about it. We just we ain't found the right time yet.
Let's just wait a little bit longer to see where the Celtics finish up, and then we'll go for it. All right. Here we go. We're going to make sure we don't do the tomahawk chop. We don't want to offend anybody, but we are going to have the Braves report. So let's get ready for that Braves report. Here we go. We don't want to offend anybody. All right. Baseball season is alive and well. The Atlanta Braves did not start off the season on a high note. They lost their first 4 games, got swept by the Phillies, came back, lost against the Nationals, came back and won a doubleheader. And then they start the weekend series off on a high note by beating the same pitcher who beat them at the beginning of the season, Wheeler, and they come back and beat the Phillies. So now they have a 3-4 record. So I think they're like in 3rd place right now in the division. So Red, we'll start off with you. What's your Braves thoughts right now while they're sitting at 3-4 going into today's matchup with the Phillies?
Well, my thoughts are a little bit more positive than they were last week when we started off 0-4. Oh my God, I'm glad you didn't ask me that then. Now, first off, let me respond to somebody, Kelly Nicole, talking about the Braves are struggling. No, Kelly. Struggling is your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets for the past 7 years. Struggling is your Jackson State Wildcats, which they've been doing the past 3 weeks, okay? The Braves have won 3 in a row. That's not struggling. That's coming around. That's finding your own. That's on a winning streak. something that Georgia Tech yellow junkies would know nothing about. So please stop talking about struggling, Kelly, and listen up. You about to learn something, okay? The Braves, they are red hot right now. I mean, they started 0-4, but watching them play last night, you wouldn't even known that they started 0-4. Something tell me by the end of this week, that 0-4 start is going to long be forgotten about. So, Rev, I love how we balling right now. The pitching started off a little shaky, but I think it's coming around. Charlie Morton, he had an okay first start. We didn't give him no run support. He got the run support last night. I think he's going to be fine. I think Max Fried just going through the jitters. I think he's going to be fine. I think these bats are starting to wake up. Ron Acuna Jr., oh my God, dude is batting 393, almost 400. I mean, his bat is on fire. Hit another 405th monster slam last night. Hopefully, he'll stay in consideration for NL MVP. We'll have Freddie 1 year. We'll have Ron this year. That's right, Braves. Just keep racking up talent. I think Oz is starting to come around. He's starting to find his bat speed now. Freddie, another home run last night. Looked like he back. Ozuna. The bats are finally coming around. And as long as our bats are alive, the pitching will be right there. So, as far as my Braves report, undefeated in the last 3, starting to come around. I think the Braves are finally starting to be the team that we thought they're going to be. But it needs to continue with the win today from Ian Anderson and a big-time win on ESPN Sunday Night Football, which I will definitely be tuning into. And if I'm at work, I hope they don't see me going crazy at work because I will definitely be excited. Go Braves.
Yeah. ESPN Sunday Night Football.
Oh,
Sunday Night Baseball. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Clown and Kelly's football team.
Oh man, I mean, Red, you did shoot some shots. I can't even speak, man. he broke down what's struggling, man, and used all of Kelly's teams, man. That's messed up, man.
Red, put what Kelly said. We don't live life to talk about you.
No, Kelly.
Oh.
No, I was intentional about talking about Southern. I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't see that one coming from Red. I didn't see that one, man. I didn't see that one.
She talking about the Braves are struggling. Like, hey, you been watching the last 3 games?
Oh, now, look at what Jerome K said, Red. Kelly, the Braves are consistent losers. You got any thoughts about that?
Oh, man, Real, we clown Jerome K so much. I'll just save it for Facebook because we're gonna come from him eventually. I mean, we dog him out so much with the Falcons talk, but Jerome, I just say, like I always tell you on Facebook, you don't know what you're talking about.
All right, Coach, jump in there with any thoughts about the Braves so far.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I check the standings the first time I officially check the standings is Memorial Day. Then you can tell me something about the Braves if they doing this or doing that. I'm not about to check the standings 9-8-3-4 out of 162 games, y'all. It's too early to be pressing panic buttons. And I saw this on the Braves group on Facebook. It was terrible. They were acting like the end of the world was coming. Now those same people are trying to jump back in and say, they are who we thought they were. We knew they'd come around. Whatever. I mean, games, and you're already saying that they not good. 7 games.
Yeah.
Catch me in 90 games, and then we'll talk. I mean, we'll have some conversation, but not 7. I can't do it.
So, are there any concerns about the MVP not coming strong at the beginning of the season? We're 7 games in. Freddie Freeman normally does not bat under 200 any part of the season. Early on, 7 games, he's batting 136. Albie's batting 111 after 7 games. Is there any room for concern where your second and third hitters in the lineup are batting under 150?
I think it had a lot to do with the 0-4 start when the bats were silent. They were real silent during that 0-4 start. And now as the bats start to wake up, I think the numbers will start to creep up. And hopefully maybe in a week or 2, we'll see different numbers. Now, if we come back in a week or 2, Rev, and Freeman and Ozzy still batting 1-something. Yeah, now we got something to talk about. I at least let's give it to at least around May. Or at least around May. I'm not gonna say Memorial Day, but let's give it to at least around that first week of May. Let's give them a couple of more weeks. Let's see if the bats continue to get back consistent. Now, if they batting like in the ones first week of May, we'll have a little bit more something to talk about.
Any concerns? Yeah, that's fair. Any concerns about Soroka being put back on the injury list?
Somewhat, because I think we were kind of expecting him early on, but it showed the inflammation. I think maybe he's trying to overdo it because he's so revved up and excited to get back. He's probably down there overdoing it more in his rehab, and he probably needs to just don't overdo it. Just stay even keeled. I know he's rushing to get back, but stay even keeled. And Soroka, don't worry, baby. We're gonna be right here when you get back. We are gonna be right in the playoff contention, buddy. You don't have to rush back, and we need you. So don't do nothing to set yourself back. Even keeled. Just do what's required so you can get back and be healthy. I don't want you to overdo it. That's my opinion.
Coach, you got any closing comments about the Braves?
No, I'm looking at this thing. Everybody's ganging up on Kelly. They don't understand. Just a few years ago, they went to the Final Four.
Who?
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech who?
Yellow Jackets. They went to the Final Four a few years ago, didn't it? Oh,
Hey,
wait.
I think they talking about a football team, Coach.
My bad. A few decades ago. My bad. I'm sorry.
Coach throwing shots, man. You knew that, man.
My bad.
Man, y'all coming for Kelly, man. Y'all about to make me feel bad that I came for her as Southern beat the brakes off her.
Kelly gonna cancel us, man. You're not gonna be a guest no more. My bad, Kelly. I didn't know it was started.
We love Kelly Kell. Even though Southern beat the brakes off Jackson State last week, we love Kelly. We love Kelly.
See,
we love
he's throwing it in.
We love it.
We ain't talking about the Falcons yet, so yeah.
That can't be Silver Middle School. Lord have mercy. That ain't been.
Jerome talking about the Yankees and the Braves.
Yo, we don't want to hear nothing about no doggone Yankees. Get your little Yankee self out of here.
When did he become a fan? 2011? 2000?
Yeah. Exactly. He became a fan when Derek Jeter got drafted. Shut up, man.
Shay, we'll see in the fall. You'll be saying the same, Rev. Well, I'm just saying it right now. They beat Prime, so you can't say they never beat Prime. They beat Prime. It was a prime time loss last Saturday. Prime time beat them.
They played today against Alabama State.
Yeah.
Alabama State probably think they can win that game.
No. I think they play A&M today.
A&M, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on as we move on. And you all can dive into this one. Tigerless Masters. We know that the big time golf championship is in Augusta this weekend, and there's pretty much been no talk about it. We're seeing the impact of Tiger not being a part of the Masters. So your thoughts on Tiger not being at the Masters?
He's a victim of his own unfortunate circumstances. You know, they keep trying to add on to the report. 1 minute is nothing. Then they say they found a pill bottle. Then they say they find that this happened. I mean, what more? What you looking for next? You gonna throw some alcohol in the back plus drugs and some meth and all that? You gonna plant them too? Golly, man had an accident. He was probably half-tired. Who never knows? He didn't overcorrect, and he had an accident. That happens every day in America. But because of Tiger Woods, it's going to be exasperated and made worse than it is because it's him. You're going to find stuff. You're going to say this and say that. The man was sleeping. He tried to drive. He messed up, had a wreck. Clarence, whatever. I mean, the Masters, if they know they're paying, because if Tiger Woods was playing today, Masters coverage would increase. Y'all know that. Everybody knows that. Masters coverage be big time. They live for him on Sunday at the Masters walking with that red shirt on. They live for that. Now they don't have it. So now you got to depend on, let's see. Where's Rory McIlroy, the next Tiger? I don't know. Probably didn't make the cut. Where's Jordan Spieth? Where these guys, they keep talking about the next Tiger and have not fulfilled that promise. Everybody knows Tiger's not playing. Ratings go down. Simple as that.
All right, and Red is providing us his commentary, so he's not going to say anything.
Oh, we talking about the Masters? Oh, sorry, y'all. Been asleep, man, because that's how watchable the Masters is without Tiger. I mean, it is a snooze fest. Lord have mercy. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting sleep out my eyes. But seriously, like y'all know, ever since 1997 when Tiger came onto the scene and pretty much put the Masters on the map for some of us black folks. I mean, some black folks didn't even know the Masters existed before 1997. But since then, the Masters without Tiger, it's just like peanut butter without jelly, man. You know, it just don't make no sense. You know, Tiger has to be the Masters, even if he don't even have a good Masters game. Just him being in Augusta makes the ratings more palpable to watch. And Coach, you asked, where's Rory McIlroy? Well, I'm sure his dad knows where he's at because he got hit with a golf ball from Rory back on day one. So he's probably out practicing his golf swing so he don't hit his dad any longer. And as far as that police case you mentioned with Tiger, come on, you guys. We all know what happens when a black athlete gets in any type of little scandal, accident, anything. They are going to use a microscope to go through every little thing. Anything they gonna find, anything they trying to find, anything. Trust me, if it was LeBron James in a car accident, it would be the same way. They are gonna try to find it, especially LeBron. They ain't found nothing on him yet. You better believe they're gonna be trying to find some alcohol related, something drug related, anything we can get to bring this black guy down. We gonna look for it. Thankfully, Tiger, you've been a good boy. Thankfully, the only thing they could find is you just was driving too fast. Thank you, Tiger, for not giving them what they want, because we all know they looking for something. Like Coach said, they are looking for something. They ain't been able to find nothing. So is Tiger's driving too fast. Anything negative they can pull from that, trust me, they will. So it's just, just simple procedure when a rich and successful black man has any type of issue.
I'm going to agree with your all's assessment about the Masters. I think also we do need to keep in consideration that I think they gave Tiger's people and his handlers gave the media more incentive to try to want to dig when they weren't initially forthright about what was going on. They were trying to keep everything hush-hush. And if they had just been forthright about everything, I don't know if there'll be as much digging. But they were going to be content with not saying anything about what happened to Tiger. And a person of that stature, you can't just go and think that people are going to just dismiss the fact that they found this phenomenal golf player who's transcended the sport in the woods, hitting a tree, and nobody's going to say anything about what happened. So I think Tiger's handlers, his media people did not do an effective job sharing the news, and therefore they allowed the media to have the license to try to keep on digging. So I can't really blame media for trying to dig, especially if they're not going to give Tiger's people not going to give information. You just can't be sitting up there having the best golf player, arguably who ever played, sitting up in some hospital and nobody knows what's going on. So that's just something that has to be done better on Tiger Woods' people. They could have, the one thing, like you mentioned about LeBron, the one thing LeBron does is he makes sure his people control the narrative. They get out in front of the story. So they're going to paint the picture the way they want that picture to be painted. And I think Tiger Woods people would have done well if they had just controlled the narrative by giving the media just a little something to bite their teeth into so they wouldn't have to dig. So that's just my one thing about how that Tiger Woods situation played out.
The Tiger must have TOX publicist.
Yeah. All right. And accidents do happen on the road. Yep. They're gonna keep digging, but you got to get some information because Tiger Woods is not just your average Joe. And think about how many people are missing out on a Tiger Woods experience at the Masters.
Yeah.
How many people
schedule a lot of them bought tickets thinking he was gonna be there.
Exactly. So that price tag went a little bit higher with Tiger Woods scheduled to be there versus when Tiger's not being there. So you got to realize some folk lost some money, and some people paid top dollar to be in Augusta just to be there for the Masters, because we all know when you look at basketball, and we've shared it on the show before, there's a difference between when LeBron James comes and plays the Hawks versus, let's say, somebody like who?
Sacramento.
LaMelo Ball.
DeAndre Fox.
Hold on, Coach. Now, LaMelo Ball, I got to go see
LaMelo Ball might be a draw and soon to come. So I'll say DeAndre Fox. The price ticket for the upper deck will go from $150 when LeBron is playing to about $40 when DeAndre Fox, or even less than that. Exactly. So, that money matters. All right, gentlemen, let's go to our last topic for the show before we go and give our You Have the Right to Do What, When, Where, and How NFL draft talk. We know that pretty much the draft is in Red's favorite team's hand and my primary team's hand, the Atlanta Falcons.
Primary.
We know that pretty much the Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets, along with the San Francisco 49ers who traded up, they will all be taking a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And pretty much we know that Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence will probably be the number 1 pick. Zach Wilson will be the number 2 pick. There's a smoke screen going on with 3. Some people think that Matt Jones will be the quarterback. Others think
no smoke screen. Ain't going to be no Matt Jones.
But we do know that the 49ers are going to take a quarterback. So now the Falcons are in need of a future quarterback, even though they extended the contract or they rearranged the money, which extended Matt Ryan's cap hit from 2 more years to 3 more years. So the Falcons need a future quarterback, but they have a lot of needs. And then they need defensive help. They need a tight end. They need a running back, so forth and so on. So, Red, I'm going to go to you.
Okay.
As of today, based upon what you're feeling, what you're hearing, and this can be changed in the upcoming weeks. We'll keep talking about this from week to week. What do the Falcons do at 4?
Well, Rev, like I said, I was hearing that the coach and the GM were on different pages. Now I heard reports yesterday that they have finally gotten on the same page. But with what? They ain't giving us nothing. Hey, look, I give them credit though. They are keeping this close to the vest. The Falcons, you are finally living up to this pivotal team, because you all know what you do is going to affect the rest of the draft. And man, I ain't got an inkling of idea except for 2 things. It's either going to be a quarterback or a tight end. That I do know. What I can tell you definitely ain't going to happen is we ain't trading down. Okay, so for all them folks about trading down, you can forget that. They ain't trading down. I told you last week, the Niners went to the Falcons first and offered them the same deal they gave to Miami. The Falcons said no. They would have took the deal, but they say we were going to wait to draft night, which means the Falcons wanted to see how the QB situation unfolded. So if obviously the Falcons have QB on the mind. If they didn't, they would have been took a deal. Rev, don't you think the Falcons would have been took a deal to trade down by now if they weren't thinking QB? I'm pretty sure they could have called a team themselves and said, hey, we want to trade down. What you got for us? And they would have made a deal. So obviously the Falcons are not trading down. What we do know is that the GM Terry Fontenot loves Trey Lance. What I know is that the coach, Arthur Smith, loves Kyle Pitts. Now, between Kyle Pitts and Trey Lance, they've come together and made a decision. what that decision is, unfortunately, we have to speculate and procrastinate and keep talking about it until draft night, and they finally make the decision. But we all know that Matt Ryan is on his last days, and Trey Lance sitting behind him for a year or two would be nice. But if the Falcons trying to win now, you add Kyle Pitts to Julio and Calvin Ridley and what else we got, and man, that offense may be a replica of 2016. So it's all about decisions. And personally, Rev, I don't have faith that my Falcons are gonna make the right decision because they haven't in the past. So
well, we got a new regime. We got a new regime, new GM, new coach. So we got to give them a clean slate. So as of today, if Red is being a football draft prophet, who are the Falcons taking as of today?
Oh my God. Well, who mindset have I had? Do I have a coach or the GM?
Who Red thinks is going to win.
Who I think? I got to protect my team going forward. I got to take the quarterback. I'm not sure how much longer Matt Ryan has left. I know he restructured his deal, but I feel like I can find with my head coach as an offensive guy. I feel like the weapons I get in the later round, he'll be able to coach him up. But I gotta have that first round talent as a quarterback when Matt hang him up in the year too. Hey, but if they take Kyle, I'll be happy. That means they trying to win now. That means they obviously they feel Matt can work with Kyle, Julio, and Calvin and help us win now. They better take a running back in the second round, I know. But I'll be okay with either decision. But personally, Red, I want one of them quarterbacks.
All right, so we're going with who now? Who's the draft pick?
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Coach, you were shaking your head. Tell us why you're shaking your head.
I'm going to use one of your words or two of your words. And I'm going to say 4 words. Kyle Pitts, book it. Now, I'm going to tell you why.
Tell us.
Regardless of what, I know people don't understand, Matt Ryan has a lot of influence on that first round draft pick. And they want to make it just like an old man who puts his teeth in a glass and gums everything. They want to make Matt Ryan's last couple of years as good as possible. So why not get a tight end who's the best player in the draft almost to let him throw them 5-yard outs and 6-yard long balls to and get some yards. There he is right there, Kyle Pitts, they're gonna say he can open it up for Julio and for what's his name?
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. If he throws to Kyle, they will get off them, and then he can throw the long ball about 15 yards. Yes, we'll have our offense. I'm telling you, Kyle Pitts is going to be the man they choose.
You know what? I can't say I disagree. And here's why. Ray, help me out.
Go ahead.
The Falcons had who as their tight end last year? Hayden Hurst. Have you heard anything about them re-signing him?
No.
Have you heard anything about the Falcons signing a tight end?
No.
I think Coach might have picked who we picked.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be one of the other guys. That's why I say it's gonna be one of the others.
Because we know that tight end has helped Matt Ryan in many of his great years, or many of his decent years, one great year. Let me just put it that way. So we know that he has some quality years with Tony Gonzalez. Austin Hooper, he has some good years with Austin Hooper. The guy Hayden Hurst, he was decent. And we know because of his lack of arm strength, tight end is important. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. You extend Ryan, where his contract affects the team for 3 years now rather than 2 years. And you're not benching him.
Nope.
And we know it's not going to be Justin Fields because I can't see Justin Fields being content with sitting behind Matt Ryan.
It's not going to be Justin Fields because the Niners not going to let him get past. The Niners didn't trade they whole draft to take no Mac Jones. They drafted.
I don't know, Red. I don't know. I initially agree with you, but Kyle Shanahan is cocky. Kyle Shanahan believes that he can take a very cerebral quarterback, which according to the football gurus, Matt Jones is probably the quarterback with the highest IQ. So he believes that he can take a cerebral quarterback and make them a high caliber quarterback. And we can see it that he did it in at least one year with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has not had another year like he had with Kyle Shanahan. So if you look at what Kyle did with Matt Ryan, Matt Jones is a better athlete than Matt Ryan is. So
to trade all that capital for Mac Jones, I think Mac Jones would have been there. That's a bold move. But you got to realize some people will do what they have to do for a particular player that they want. And he's gonna stick his coaching career on that kid.
Well, Matt, but I have not seen Kyle Shanahan besides RG3 coach the mobile quarterback like a like a Trey Lance. Most of his damage that he's done has been with your traditional drop back quarterback who has a little bit of athleticism like a Jimmy G, and then the backup quarterback. So I would not be surprised if it were any other team besides San Francisco. I would say it would definitely not be Matt Jones. But because of Kyle Shanahan believing in his mind he's a QB guru, I would not be surprised if it is Matt Jones. So therefore, I think the Falcons will probably get Kyle Pitts.
Hold on. But then that changed my process then, because I don't think the Falcons going to let Justin Fields get past them. If Justin Fields available, I think the Falcons going to draft him. See, I'm thinking Kyle Pitts if Justin Fields not available. If Justin Fields is available, now the Falcons could potentially draft 3 of those guys. It could be Fields, Pitts, take Lance out of there. If Fields is available, it'll be between Fields or Pitts.
I just don't think this new coach, it just doesn't feel to me that he's a Justin Fields type guy.
Okay, well, I know he wants Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts
is him being a Kyle Pitts guy because he featured the tight end position as the offensive coordinator in Tennessee. So I don't. If Arthur Blank is not willing to forego 2 seasons, and he's saying to them, I don't know what coach is doing, so we're gonna mute him right quick. If Arthur Blank is not willing to forego 2 seasons where they're just playing mediocre, but he's expecting them to compete, then it got to be Kyle Pitts.
You're right. Yeah. If it's win now, if the message from Arthur Blank is win now, then Kyle Pitts is the guy.
Yeah, I
mean to win this season. Like Arthur say, we got to make the playoffs this season. Kyle Pitts has to be the guy.
Yeah. I think Kyle Pitts definitely is the guy, and it just makes sense because they did not address tight end in free agents. No. Because if they were not trying to get the tight end, if they were trying to address the tight end position, then they could have easily gotten one of the 2 tight ends that signed with the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Or at least make a pitch for them. So I think it got to be Kyle Pitts. And you can't trade from 4 if you want Kyle Pitts because somebody will jump up there and get him if he's
Dallas already got him on the radar. If the Falcons don't take Kyle Pitts, the Cowboys will. So, and see now, Rev, you're going to change my mindset. I'm going to go from, are we rebuilding? Now I got to think playoffs next year because it's 7 teams in NFC. And if you're going to take Kyle Pitts, I expect our offense to be top 5, which means I expect a playoff run. You think Matt can get us back to the playoffs?
I think Arthur Blank wants to see if he can with the new coach and GM. I think Arthur Blank is going to have a hard time paying somebody $30 million just to tank. So therefore,
I agree with that. So you think the Falcons gonna try to make a run next year?
I think they have no choice because of the new coach, new GM. Plus, you still are on the hook with Matt Ryan, $30 million, Julio, almost $20 million. So therefore, you can't afford to just be sitting and tanking when you got that much money on the books. I think the rebuild will come once if they don't succeed this year.
Yeah.
The rebuild will come next year. I thought they would go in rebuild mode if they were able to get rid of Ryan and then if they were going to trade Julio. But I think once they saw the cap hit that it would take to get rid of Matt Ryan, they had to scratch those plans and say, what can we do this year? And if they can't do anything this year, then maybe next year they will try to, rebuild.
All right. Well, I'll cheer for us to make the playoff. We ain't made it in 3 years, so I might as well cheer for us to make it. I didn't think Matt Ryan had a playoff run left in him. But everybody talking this airway talk. But we gonna see. Because if you don't do it this year, that's it. So we got one more year to prove it to us. If he really trying to win, this right here. Because if he can't do it, if Matt Ryan can't do it with Pitt, Julio, Ridley, and whatever running back we get, because we're going to have to draft a running back. Hopefully it'll be Travis Etienne, Sermon. Now, I can take Najee Harris off my mind because he ain't going to be there. But Sermon and Etienne, they might be around when we draft again. So if the Falcons find that running back with the Pitts and the additional talent we got, I'm not worried about the offensive line. I think we solid right there. I think we could do something with with coaching.
Let me address these two questions right quick. Rusty, Harness, who's to say we keep the 4th pick? Why not trade back to get extra picks to patch holes and look for a backup in later rounds? I think because we're in win now mode, whatever that looks like as Atlanta Falcons, and you can't load up on first-round draft picks this year and next year because they can't help you really win this year. And there's too much money on the books with Matt Ryan and Julio to be talking about the future. The future is now. So Arthur Blank is going to try to win with this crew right now. Going to Jerome Cases. Question, I guess he's trying to trap me. Says, Rev, can Matt get us to the playoff? I'm trying to see something. I'm going to say this. Coaching, great coaching can get us to the playoffs. Somebody who can coach Matt Ryan up can get us to the playoffs. But am I banking on Matt Ryan's ability to be able to do it and be the primary reason? No. But great coaching. I've seen him do quite well with great coaching. So I'm hoping that Arthur Smith is the great coach that Arthur Blank hired him to be to coach Matt Ryan up. Because we've seen him excel when he had a great quarterback coach. And we got an offensive-minded coach. This is the first time that Matt Ryan has seen an offensive-minded coach since he's been a part of the Atlanta Falcons. So we don't have to worry about at least next 2-3 years the coach going away. So that's the one thing. So we can see if Arthur Smith can coach Matt Ryan up.
I completely agree, Rev. It's not, if we get to the playoffs, it won't be because Matt Ryan put the team on his shoulder. It'll be because the team as a whole, in addition to the consistent and better competent offensive coaching, that'll get us to the playoffs. It ain't got nothing to do with Matt Ryan and him putting the team on his shoulder. But I think with the right offensive play caller and the right offensive system, yeah, we can make a playoff run. And the right draft, you got to make some good draft picks this year too.
Now check this out. Look, this was Jerome Cases. He was trying to nail me down on something, and then he comes back after my comment by saying, "Rev, good job navigating the question." I guess you couldn't nail me down. All right, I'm pretty clever.
Nail down something. I ain't gonna say on the air.
If he don't think coaching can get a championship, 2 words: Trent Dilfer.
Dilfer, yeah, defense, yeah. So Rev and Red, it's a team game, right? Oh my goodness, it is a team game, but the quarterback matters. The quarterback
important position on the team.
The quarterback matters. Look at Tampa Bay. They won a championship because of who? Tom Brady.
And
They
good coaching with Bruce Arians, an offensive mind at the coaching spot.
The coaching spot. Patrick Mahomes has excelled because the quarterback matters and you got Andy Reid. Coaching matters. Quarterback matters. All right, last one. All this talk about offense, y'all need to do something about that Swiss cheese defense the Falcons got. Well, the bottom line is it's going to be Swiss cheese. You got to get offense. You got to put some more points on the board, and they can try to outscore. And let's remember, it wasn't like the Falcons just had the Chicago Bears defense when they went to the Super Bowl. All the money is on the offensive side. That's where their bread and butter is. And you got to spend money on the Falcons offense because Matt Ryan needs all the offensive help that he can get. And you put Pitts out there with Jones, you got a major force on the offensive side of the board with Calvin Ridley. If Matt Ryan can't excel with those three pieces, then he needs to retire after next year. He needs to get going. All right. Coach, we're going to get to you real quickly. One last thing before we close. We know you're a Steelers fan. And Red wanted to ask the question, are the Steelers in the quarterback drafting business?
Do I have to answer this?
Yeah.
Why would we be in the quarterback drafting business? Why?
Why wouldn't you?
Because our main primary goal is running back and offensive line. Quarterback, Dwayne Haskins is there. He's going to be groomed to be the next quarterback. We need running backs and offensive line. Quarterback should be the last picked in the 7th round. If there's a quarterback in the 7th round, go get him. And
hold on, Coach. Let me ask you a question. Who did you say is being groomed?
Haskins is going to be groomed to be the next quarterback. And see, the thing about Haskins is he has done nothing, but he messed his time up, but he's still relatively young. He still has a chance to show that he can play because he just went 1 year under Washington. 1 year. He just got drafted in 2019. He hadn't had a chance to do anything to be a failure yet. And God, give him a chance to be a failure first before he's labeled a failure because of the stuff in Washington. But like I said, we lost 3 offensive linemen. Our running back situation, we only average 2 or 3 yards a carry. That is our primary objective right now. Quarterback, I watch, and I'm gonna put a name out there. If they get a quarterback, I guarantee they get this dude, and I'm gonna scratch my head again. Kellen Mond, watch. 6th round, 7th round, watch.
Now, what running back do you think they should target, Coach?
Najee Harris.
You say you want Najee Harris?
It ain't a waste of time. If he lasts to the Steelers to the 24th pick, that only people picking faster would be Jacksonville getting Trevor Lawrence. If they
where does Pittsburgh pick?
24.
24? You think Harris gonna last that long?
Yeah, nobody else wants a running back. They looking at line and wide outs. They see that nice group of wide outs. They see that line, them linemen in there, and they see those defensive guys. They're not thinking running back. You look at the drafts, mock drafts.
Hey, if the Steelers get Najee Harris, I'll be on board with that pick. That'd be a nice pick. I mean, now what about Sermon or ETN? Would you be cool with one of them?
If Najee Harris ain't there, then you go ETN, Sermon, or Williams from North Carolina. But you got to get a running back. And the thing the Steelers need to do, here it is, very simple. Go ahead, get Najee Harris if he's there that first pick. Then the second pick, you got the center Humphrey from Alabama, because Pouncey retired. Humphrey is a good center. You got the lineman from Clemson. I can't remember his name. You got several linemen that you can choose from and pick. That's the Steelers' focus right now. You lose half your line to retirement or free agency. That's what you need to worry about right now. And like I said, your running back by committee, none of them are proving anything. James Conner, Rev's favorite fantasy player, can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
He won't be on the.
I'm with you on him. James Conner ain't the guy. And Falcon need one of these running back too now.
Huh?
The Falcon need one of these running backs too.
Well, y'all can have either one of them.
So you're thinking Najee Harris may be there. I'm trying to look at some mock drafts right now to see where they have him projected. So you are comfortable if Big Ben went down today, going into the season or playing any amount of time in the 2021 season with Haskins being your starting quarterback?
We won't have a choice. There won't be a quarterback available for the Steelers in the first round. These so-called quarterbacks, they won't be available for the Steelers. None of them.
Trash will be available.
Oh my gosh! Are you what?
What's wrong with Trash? Okay, sorry. What's wrong with Trash?
I give you a number on Trash. 60 carries, 50 yards. We don't need another stiff quarterback back there. A statue. No.
Okay.
No.
I'm saying, okay, you say you like Kellen Mond, right?
No, I don't. I just say he'll probably be one of them late pickups.
Oh.
I guarantee you about 6, 7 rounds, Mond will still be around and they'll throw away a pick on him because he's a quarterback. They're not
So
let me ask you this, Coach. What if Trey Lance failed?
He ain't falling that far.
That's what I'm saying. Ain't no way he gonna fall.
He ain't, unless the Steelers move up, he ain't falling to 24. People be trying to get back in the first round if he finished. So right now, according to NFL.com mocks draft, they have Najee Harris going to the Miami Dolphins at 18. They have the Steelers picking Landon Dickerson, the center, out of Alabama.
Is that the guy you meant, Coach?
Possibly happen because the Steelers know they need a good lineman, a good center. So if Harris is not there, you can get one of those other running backs in the second round. But if you can't get Harris, then you got to go offensive line.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They don't have a choice.
I agree with that.
All right.
Just the first round talent, offensive line there at 24, you got to grab them.
Another mock draft says CBS mock draft has the Steelers taking Landon Dickerson.
That's because they don't think that Harris is going to be there. But in some, I can't believe they got Harris going in the second round.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening. Some of these mock drafts definitely have Harris going in the second round, but we'll see what happens in this continued draft talk. We'll be talking about it next weekend.
If Harris goes to the second round, Falcon better if Harris is there when the Falcon pick in the second round, sorry, Coach, we grabbing him. I promise you that. The Artie Smith is not going to let Harris get past him at 35.
Here's a CBS pick right here, CBS draft right here, round 1. Najee Harris, because here's what they say. Determined to improve what the league's worst rushing attacks, Steelers take a running back in the first round for the 6th time since 72. That year, Franco Harris was selected. And they said Najee Harris is a pretty much a 3-skill player. He can run, he can block, and he can catch passes. We can't afford to let him go.
Well, the problem is you got to have somebody who can block for him, and Pouncey retired on y'all, so that's why you got to get a center.
Yeah, that's why.
Because we already saw your running attack with Pouncey, and it wasn't that good last year.
Garbage. Terrible.
So you all got to address your line, and I don't think you all addressed it in free agency, did you?
We re-signed B.J. Finney, who used to play for us and was a decent guard, and then they got one of the guys who got hurt last year is coming back. He was a rookie, started out. So
in other words, y'all didn't address it. Cole, when you mentioned Cole and back, and then when you talking about somebody who got hurt, you didn't address it then.
Well,
real Coach be so subtle in his responses, man.
They addressed depth, real. They didn't might not address starters.
Well, you got to get some starters before you start talking about having depth now.
Now you say you admit this. Who is one of the best teams picking from 3 through 7 in the draft?
You say one of the best teams?
Picking rounds 3 through 7.
Oh, y'all do well. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Steelers do well in the draft. I'm not gonna say that you don't.
Remember, I told you last week, Coach, you don't have you really still don't have nothing to worry about. I still think no matter who y'all get, that you gonna fix the offensive line. Me and Rev have no doubt in our mind that you gonna fix the offensive line. But you got to get that running back to go behind it. Matter of fact, I got more faith in y'all fixing the offensive line than the running back you gonna draft.
Yeah,
I
would have to agree.
If Miami pulled the trigger at 18, then we go get the young man you just mentioned. We got to do one of the two. We don't have a choice.
Yeah, I think it's enough. It's running back deep enough that y'all should find somebody. But like Rev said, you probably want to spend that first rounder, maybe the first two on the offensive lineman, because if it's running back deep, y'all probably find a guy in like the third or fourth round.
This draft is line deep too.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
But there's certain linemen that are much better than others. So you gotta take them where these linemen are definitely slotted to be taken. Last thing about draft, I've looked at a couple mock drafts. Read this for you.
Okay.
And two mock drafts, CBS and NFL.com. They have the Falcons trading out of the fourth pick to the New England Patriots.
Oh gosh.
I heard about that one.
That must be the rumor going on. So the Patriots must be giving the Falcons all their draft picks or something.
No, because if they were, the Falcons would have been on made the deal. They trying to lowball the Falcons. That's why the Falcons ain't paying them no attention. Look, the Falcons ain't heard any deal that they wanted, because if they had, they would have don't trade it out. I think the Falcons have pretty much selected their guy, and 85% sure it's going to be Kyle Pitts, just to let you know. So when draft night comes, y'all won't start I told you so, Red, on Saturday morning. I agree that Kyle Pitts is the guy if we're trying to win now. If they ain't trying to win now, then they're going to take, they just saying, we just trying to build for the future, then they're going to take a quarterback. But if they're trying to win now, then pretty much Kyle Pitts is pretty much the guy. We just waiting for them to officially announce it. So it's going to be Lawrence, Wilson, Fields or Matt, and Kyle Pitts with the Falcons. That's what I think is gonna happen. If you just put a gun in my head and say, Red, what do I realistically think is gonna happen? That's what I realistically think is gonna happen. I think the Falcons gonna take Kyle Pitts. I think they're gonna try to. I think Arthur Smith believe Matt got a couple of years left. I think he thinks Matt got the Elway. Got that Elway up in him. He gonna win late in his career, and the Falcons gonna go all in trying to win now. I just hope it's not a mistake.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this show on up. You have the right. Who has the right to do what, when, where, how? Who wants at it first? Go with it.
Braves, you got a right to keep the winning streak going. Start off 0-4. You don't won the last three. You got the Phillies tonight at 9 o'clock. At 7. Ian Anderson on the mound. You have the right to keep winning, keep hitting.
All right, Coach, who has the right to do what, when, where, how?
Let me see. I was thinking about Dustin Leonard. No, yeah,
Justin Rose?
No.
Oh.
I'm Dustin Johnson. I'm sorry for golf. Dustin Johnson, you have the right to make a serious comeback and win the Masters, giving you the pregame favorite to do it. So let's see if you are worthy of the stature of being the number one in the world.
Hold on, did he make the cut?
I'm going to check it out.
What's his name?
Dustin Johnson.
Justin Johnson?
Justin with a D.
Yeah, one of those big players didn't make the cut, man.
Oh, Lord. Let me look and find out.
Uh-oh.
I hope it wasn't Roy. That's what you get for hitting your daddy with a golf ball.
Hold on. I don't think one of them guys didn't make the cut.
Hey, Jordan made
it. So you gotta.
He missed
it. He missed it. So you gotta give us another. You have the right, Coach.
Yes, sir. I gotta give you another one. Dustin Johnson, I'm disappointed in you, son. College basketball players, you have a right to stop believing the pregame hype and come back for another season, because some of you are making terrible decisions on going to the pros early. If you are ranked below 50, you shouldn't be going to the pros. You should try to come back for another season and get better. Some of you are getting that bad advice. So college basketball prospects, you have the right to take time and listen and get more on yourself before you try to go to the draft just because you think you can go. Otherwise, the G League going to be populated.
All right, and I'll finish it up. Freddie Freeman and Ozzie Albies, you have the right to bat better so that the Falcons' chances of being the formidable force that Red and Coach have predicted you ought to be can be put in play. It can't be all on Acuna. We got to have you batting over 200 by next week or the next 2 weeks, because that's sad. Freddie Freeman coming off, in particular, Freddie Freeman coming off an MVP season, and you tanking in the 100s. That's not okay. So you have the right, and Ozzie Albies has the right to also bat much better than what they've been batting so far. All right, gentlemen. Well, that concludes for this week. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to episode 184. And we'll be ready for 185 next week. I'll be back in the ATL. And looking forward to having another great show. Thank y'all, Rev Knights, for representing. Thank you all. And we'll have our special guest, Shelby McDonald, will be back with us for the first half next week. So we look forward to it. Be blessed, everybody.
Look at Thomas.
Whoa, Thomas is giving us one more. Thomas says, looks at watch, time to catch a flight for the Pangolin ping pong. Armadillo ball return. It tests.
You used Tasmania last week. Come on with another team.
You guys have the right to have a safe weekend. Appreciate you, Vince, man. You always showing some good holiday weekend love, wanting us to be safe, and we truly appreciate it, man. Everybody be blessed. Have a great week. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Red and Rev Sports Show.
All right.